Learn English through stories with shadowing and conversation. Valancy Stirling was 29 years old, but she was never truly happy. She lived in a dark house in Britain with her strict mother. Every day was exactly the same. Her family treated her like a child and made all her decisions. To escape her sad life, Valancy daydreamed about a secret place called the Blue Castle. It was a beautiful house in the woods where she was brave and loved. One day, a letter arrived in the post from her doctor. It brought terrible news. Valancy had a rare heart problem and she only had 1 year to live. The doctor warned that any sudden shock could kill her instantly. At first, Valancy was terrified. But then she felt a strange relief. If she was going to die soon, she had nothing left to lose. For the first time in her life, she was not afraid. That evening at dinner, her uncle started complaining about a young man named Barney Snaith. The townspeople thought Barney was a bad person because he lived alone in the woods.
You are wrong. He minds his own business. We should do the same.
Her family was shocked, but Valancy didn't care. She packed a bag and left her miserable home forever. Valancy went to look after a sick girl in the village. While she was there, she met Barney Snaith. He was not a bad man at all. He was quiet, kind, and gentle. They talked about books and became good friends. When the sick girl sadly died, Valancy had nowhere to go. She found Barney and said,
I want you to marry me. I just want to live in the woods and be free. We can just be friends.
Barney was surprised, but he agreed. They moved to Barney's small wooden house on an island. Valancy loved it. This is my real blue castle, she thought. They spent their days walking and talking by the fire. Soon they fell deeply in love. Winter arrived. One morning, while walking near the village, Valancy's boot got stuck in the railway tracks. Suddenly, a fast train came. Barney ran and pulled her away just in time. The shock was huge, but Valancy felt perfectly fine. Her heart didn't stop. She went straight to the doctor. The doctor looked very embarrassed.
I am so sorry, Valancy. We made a terrible mistake last year. That letter was meant for another woman. Your heart is completely healthy.
Valancy laughed with joy. She ran back to the island and told Barney the truth about the letter.
I thought I was dying, but now I will live. I love you so much.
I love you too, and I have a secret. I'm actually the son of a very wealthy man. We have a great deal of money, and we can buy a grand house.
I don't need a grand house. I already live in my blue castle.
Now let's do some shadowing together. Listen carefully and repeat each sentence naturally with me. Every day felt exactly the same to Valancy. Every day felt exactly the same to Valancy. She dreamed about a place called the Blue Castle. She dreamed about a place called the Blue Castle. He minds his own business, and we should too. He minds his own business, and we should too. They spent every day walking and talking together. They spent every day walking and talking together. The doctor said her heart was completely healthy. The doctor said her heart was completely healthy. I don't need a grand house. I already live in my blue castle. I don't need a grand house. I already live in my blue castle. Now, let's listen to Olivia and Harry talk about the story and some of the key words from it.
And what a beautiful way to wrap that up. Honestly, Margaret could read my grocery shopping list and I'd still be completely captivated. Thank you so much, Margaret.
You're not wrong, Liv. Her voice is just magic. Brilliant job as always, Margaret. And a massive welcome back to all of you tuning in. You're listening to English Natively with me, Harry.
And me, Olivia. If you're new here, at English Natively, our goal is to help you learn real, natural English through the power of storytelling. And wow, Harry, today's story, The Blue Castle, I feel like I need to catch my breath.
Mate, it's a total roller coaster, isn't it? I mean, let's just pause and recap for a second. You think you've got a year to live, so you finally tell your awful family where to go. You move into the woods, propose to a bloke everyone thinks is a criminal, nearly get squished by a massive train, and then, plot twist, you're completely healthy and your new husband is secretly loaded.
I know. When you say it out loud like that, it sounds absolutely mental. But it works so beautifully, doesn't it?
It really does. Now, I know Margaret set our version today in a dark house in Britain to give it that lovely, gloomy, gothic vibe. But the original story is actually by a Canadian author, isn't it?
Yes, good memory, Harry. It's based on a novel by L.M. Montgomery. She's the one who wrote Anne of Green Gables. But The Blue Castle is special because it was one of her only books written specifically for adults. It came out in 1926.
1926? Wow. And yet, the theme feels completely modern. It's got a massive cult following now, hasn't it?
Oh, totally. Because at its core, it's about breaking free. Poor Valancy is 29, and her family basically treats her like her life is already over. She's trapped. That fake doctor's letter was the best thing that ever happened to her.
Exactly. It's the ultimate wake-up call. She realizes, hang on, I've got nothing to lose. It's amazing how a bit of terrible news actually gave her the freedom to start living. And then she meets Barney Snaith.
Ah, Barney, the classic misunderstood bad boy of the village.
Turns out he's just a quiet bloke who likes reading books by the fire. And, happens to be heir to a massive fortune. Always a nice little bonus to find out your husband is secretly a millionaire.
You are so unromantic, Harry. The money wasn't the point at all. Did you miss the ending? She told him she didn't need his massive house because she was already living in her blue castle.
I know. It's a metaphor. The blue castle is her safe space, her freedom. It's a lovely sentiment, really.
It is. Right, well, as much as I could talk about Valancy and Barney all day, we should probably get to the language breakdown, shouldn't we?
Yes, let's do it. Margaret used some brilliant everyday vocabulary in her narration today. We've picked out 5 specific words and phrases from the story to help you guys sound more natural. So, grab your notebooks.
Let's kick things off with our first word today. Strict. Strict. Margaret read, "She lived in a dark house in Britain with her strict mother."
Right, so strict is an adjective. If someone is strict, it means they have lots of rules and they absolutely demand that you follow them. No exceptions.
Exactly. A strict mother wouldn't let you stay out late with your friends. She'd make sure your bedroom is spotless, and you definitely can't argue back.
We usually use it for authority figures, don't we? Like, my headmaster at school was incredibly strict. We weren't even allowed to run in the playground.
Good example. Which ties in perfectly with our second word, treated. Treated. The story said, her family treated her like a child.
Now, treated is the past tense of the verb to treat. It has a few meanings. I mean, if we go to the pub later, Liv, I might say, "Put your wallet away. I'll treat you to a drink."
I will definitely hold you to that. But in the story, it doesn't mean buying something. Here, to treat someone means to behave towards them in a certain way.
Spot on. Her family behaved towards her as if she were a little kid, taking away her independence. You hear this all the time in everyday conversation. You might say, "I left my last job because the manager treated me terribly."
Or, nicely, "Whenever I go to my grandmother's house, she treats me like a princess."
Exactly. Okay, word number 3 is rare. R-A-R-E. The doctor's letter said Valancy had a rare heart problem.
If something is rare, it just means it doesn't happen very often. It is not common. A rare illness is one that very few people get.
Yeah, and we use it for anything uncommon, really, like collecting things. He has a very rare collection of old coins.
Or you can use it to talk about how often someone does something. Like, "It's very rare for Harry to be on time for our podcast recordings."
Hey, I was early today.
Just by 2 minutes. Oh, and don't forget, if you go to a restaurant and order a steak, you can ask for it to be cooked rare, which means it's still quite red and bloody in the middle.
Very true. Okay, moving on to number 4. When she first read that letter, the story says, Valancy was terrified. The word is terrified. Terrified.
This is such a great expressive adjective. Terrified means extremely frightened. It's what we call a strong adjective, so you don't say very terrified, because the word already means very scared.
Right, so if I see a spider in the bathtub, I might be a bit scared. But if I step out of my front door and see a massive, angry bear standing there, I would be absolutely terrified.
I think I'd be terrified in both situations, to be honest. But yes, Valancy was terrified at first. But facing that fear changed her life. Which brings us to our final phrase for today. I love this one.
Oh, this is peak British English. When Valancy's uncle is complaining about Barney living in the woods, she snaps back and says, "He minds his own business. We should do the same." The phrase is, "he minds his own business."
Yes, To mind your own business means to keep your nose out of other people's lives. You don't gossip, you don't ask overly personal questions, you just focus on your own life.
We British people love this rule. We really value privacy. If you get on a train in London, nobody is chatting to strangers. Everyone is just looking at their phones or reading a book. They are all minding their own business.
Exactly. And you can use it to tell someone to go away if they are being nosy. If a colleague asks you how much money you have in your bank account, you can say, "Mind your own business."
Though, a quick warning to our listeners, if you say it like that, it can sound quite aggressive and rude, so use it carefully.
Good point. Right, let's do a super quick recap of today's vocabulary for our English natively listeners. We had strict, having rigid rules; treated, behave towards someone in a specific way; rare, uncommon; terrified, extremely scared; and the idiom, he minds his own business. He keeps his personal life private and doesn't interfere with others.
Brilliant summary, Liv. Well, I think that's all we've got time for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the Blue Castle and our little chat about it.
Definitely try using these 5 expressions in your own English conversations this week. And remember, if you want the full transcript of this episode, you can find it over on our website. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today on English Natively.
Catch you in the next episode, guys. Cheers!
Bye!